dear primary 6 students of St. Joseph International School. We continue with our videos explaining the science curriculum for primary 6. And in the last two videos we've been talking about the cell as a system, and that was concept 1. And if you remember, the whole theme is about systems. And so let me remind you quickly what a system is. Again, a system is anything that consists of different parts, each of them making their own function to help the whole body or the whole object to do its own function. For example, the cell, it consisted of different organelles and different parts. The cell membrane, the cell wall, for example, in the plant cell, the mitochondria, nucleus, Golgi apparatus, and so on. Each of those had its own function, and all of them together help the cell to make its own function, to do its own job. Good. So in this concept, we are talking about the body as a system. So a quick reminder, we had the cell, and each group of similar cells made up tissues, and tissues made up organs, organs made up systems, and systems made up the whole body. So this way we can see that the body is a system of its own, right? So now we are trying to understand how this system of the body works. Let's discuss this example. You are playing football, you are playing basketball with your friends, and this puts some pressure. So this leads to stress. What happens when you are playing football and this is an important match, for example? What happens? You start to get sweaty. You start to sweat. You feel a little nervous. Your heartbeats increase. Your heart beats faster. You feel some pain in your stomach. So all of this, you can see that pain in the stomach, this is a problem in the digestive system. Your heartbeats increase. This means that this is something happening in the circulatory system. You feel nervous. So this is obviously the nervous system. You're sweating. So this is the excretory system. So all of this together means that all of the systems are working together, right? So this is what we're going to focus on during this concept, how all the systems work together in an integrated way. This is very important. And an integrated way means that they work together to do something for the whole body. And during this concept, we will see many other examples. So we see here that the nervous system and the circulatory system are working together. There is an interaction between them. There is communication somehow. The digestive system, the skeletal system together, they work. So the whole body systems are working together, again, in an integrated way. Okay. Now, we are trying to look at something called danger response. When we are in danger, the body tries to avoid that danger, right? So, let's try answering these questions, and again, try answering on your own, and then pause the video, answer, and see the answer with me. Good. The first one. Looking at this picture, Your nervous system helps in moving your hand away when touching the sharp thorns. Is that true or false? Is the nervous system responsible for moving your hands away from the sharp thorns? Of course, yes. Number two, all systems interact and work together in an integrated way. Well, that's what we just said. Yes, they work together in an integrated way. Okay, so let's take a look at this picture here. This boy was riding the bicycle and he's falling down. He hit a rock and he's going to fall down. So what do you think is happening here? Well, the first thing, after we realize that this is a dangerous situation, this is a dangerous problem that we are in right now. So the first thing the body does is you see with your own eyes how you are in danger, right? So the eyes, which are part of the nervous system, see the dangerous situation and they send a message or a signal to the brain, and the brain receives this signal, this information from the eyes. So what does the brain do? Well, think about it. You are falling down. What do? Your hands try to avoid falling down, right? So the brain sends another signal to the muscles that contract and allow the body to face the danger. So your muscles do not move unless the brain tells them to do so. And for the brain to do that, it needs to get the information from the eyes first. So you can see here that there is 3 systems in communication. The nervous system, and the nervous system affects the circulatory and the muscular system to avoid dangerous situation. So you might ask me now, how is the circulatory system involved? Well, for your muscles to move, they need to get blood, and for the blood to get there faster, the brain tells your heart to beat faster to send the blood to your muscles. So you can see that there are 3 systems in communication together for you to avoid a dangerous situation. All of this happens in less than a second, less than 1 second. So it happens really quick. Good. Now, let's try and answer these questions. The brain and the heart are from parts of the nervous system. Well, the nervous system, we remember it had 3 parts. The brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves. So you see that the heart is not part of the nervous system, so this is false. Good. Number 2. The interactions between body systems are important in dangerous situations. Is that true or false? Well, of course, that's true. Because without this interaction, you can't avoid a dangerous situation. Okay. So, what we learned in this lesson is that all body systems work together in an integrated way. For example, another example. The nerve cells in the nervous system need nutrients to perform their function. First, remember from concept 1, the cell to survive, it needs what? 3 things, right? Nutrients, food, water, and oxygen. So how do we get nutrients? Through the digestive system. right? So the digestive system digests the food, and nutrients coming out of this process are transmitted to the nerve cells. What transmits nutrients? The blood, which is part of the circulatory system. So this means that the nervous system depends on the digestive system and the circulatory system to do its function. So for the nervous system, which is one, like, you can say that it controls all other systems in your body, it still depends on other systems in your body to function, to do its work. So you can see that everything helps each other. All other systems are working together for the whole body to work, to do its function. Okay? So let's try these questions. Well, to pick up a glass of water, first see, what sees? The arm, brain, eyes, or the heart? So of course it's the eyes. So the eyes first see the place of the glass on the table, and then the what coordinates the needed movements. Coordinates means regulates, controls. So what does that? Of course it's the brain. Okay. And then what beats? What beats more blood? So that's the heart. And finally, muscles in the arm contract to move toward the glass of water. So you can see that just to pick a glass of water, all of this is happening. The eyes see, and the brain coordinates the movements of the muscles, and the blood sends more blood to the muscles, and the muscles finally move. Good. In this next lesson, we are going to concentrate on one of those systems that we haven't studied yet in primary 4 and 5. So, a quick reminder that we have cells, and each group of similar cells form a tissue, and tissues make up organs, and organs make up a system, and all the systems together make up the whole body. And we remember that all the body systems work together in an integrated way. Good. Now, one of the most important cells is the muscle cell. And the muscle cell, it looks like a long fiber, like a long strand of cloth. Okay, why does it look like that? To be able to store and use energy quickly. So muscle cells need to store energy and be able to use this energy quickly. One of the other important things about the muscle cells is that they do not work alone, because the size of the muscle cell is very small to be able to move your arms, to move your legs, to carry your weight. So muscle cells, they do not work alone, but they work together as a bundle, as a group, and this is what we call the muscle tissues. And muscle tissues together make up organs, which we call the muscles. So the muscle, your arm muscles, are considered to be organs. Good. All of these muscles together make up something that we call the muscular system. Okay. Along with the skeletal system, we have the musculoskeletal system. So the musculoskeletal system, as a system, we know that it's made up of organs, and it's made up of 5 kinds of organs. First, bones, we all know what that is. Muscles, we know what muscles are. Ligaments, the ligaments are the connections between 2 bones together, and tendons are the connections between a muscle and the bone. And finally, cartilages, which are the soft bones in your ears, for example, the soft bones between your other bones, your nose. These are all cartilages. And all of these together make up something that we call the musculoskeletal system. Good. And of course, all other systems make up the whole body. So let's try and answer these 2 questions. Muscles and bones make up one of the human body systems, which are known as what? Yes, it's known as the musculoskeletal system. Muscle cells are in the form of what? Yes, long fibers to allow what? Movement. Yes. Okay. So, how do muscles move? How does your body move? Well, we remember from the last lesson that for your muscles to move, they need blood, which is pumped by the heart, which does this according to the order from your brain. Okay. And most skeletal muscles means that these muscles are connected to your bones. We have another kinds of muscles inside your body, which are your organ muscles, the stomach, the heart, and so on. So these muscles work together in pairs. For example, look at your upper arm, like this. We have the front muscles and the back muscles. Whenever you move your forearm, this part, you can feel both muscles moving. Try this on your own hand, on your own arm. When you move, you can feel them moving as well. And they are moving opposite ways. How? The muscles in the front, which we call the bicep muscles, when you move up, they contract, they become smaller. But on the other hand, the muscles in the back relax, they feel bigger when you move up. When you move down the opposite way, it's the opposite. Your muscles on the front are relaxing, and the muscles in the back are contracting, they are becoming smaller. So we have a few important notes now. 1, the skeletal muscles are attached to the bones. So skeletal muscles are the muscles connected to your bones, and they are working in pairs, and one contracts and the other relaxes. This allows the bones to move. But when does the muscle exert force, make effort? Only when it contracts. And this contraction happens in one direction only. So your muscles contract only when you are moving up, for example. Okay. The skeletal muscles, as we said, often usually work in pairs, and they are moving opposite to each other. The muscles in the front are opposite to the muscles in the back. So that was lesson 2. Now, for lesson 3, we are going to study the type of muscles. We continue on the same topic. So, we have 2 kinds of muscles: voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles. Voluntary means that you can control their movement. What do I mean by control their movement? That you think and you want to move your arm, and you do that by willing it, by wanting this, by deciding this. Involuntary muscles are the muscles that move automatically, and you can't control their movement. You don't decide to move them, they move on their own. So, let's see some examples of voluntary muscles. Well, number 1 is the upper arm muscles. All the skeletal muscles, you move them when you want to do so. Neck muscles, you move your neck when you want. You want to look here, you want to look there, and so on. Your abdomen muscles, when you walk. So all of these are what? Voluntary muscles, muscles that you can control their movement. For involuntary muscles, we have the cardiac muscles, the lung muscles, the stomach muscles. All of these, you don't decide to make them move or not. They move on their own. So, the cardiac muscles are the muscles of the heart. Also, your eye muscles, but the eye muscles are confusing a little. How? Usually, they move on their own, but the eye muscles inside that control where your eye is looking, these you can control. So you blink, your eyelid is moving on its own almost every 1 minute, or maybe more than 1 time during a minute. You don't think about that. You can do it on your own, of course, but then usually this is not how it works. But you decide, you control where to look so you can see in different directions. So this is voluntary movement, and when you blink, this is involuntary movement. Good. So that was lesson 3. Again, we see how all the systems work together, and in the next video we are going to finish lesson 3 and the whole concept, inshallah. But for now, if you have, try to solve as many questions as you can, and if you have any questions that you need answered, you can always ask your teacher or through the website. See you next time, and goodbye.